Welcome to a Monday night. You got the A game. I'm Rob Acampora from the studios in Red Bank of a shared universe. We wish Ming Chen a very happy birthday. CJ Cullen is handling all the engineering. My guest, well, this gentleman is sort of in celebration mode. He's going from podcast to podcast to promote a little thing. CJ, give me photo number 6, please. Let me remind everybody that On Our Own, the TV series, is now part of Amazon Prime. You can go rent it right now on Amazon Prime. You can get all 6 episodes for a special discounted price, because if you go one episode at a time, it'll cost you more. And you may recognize some of the people in this photo. As a matter of fact, one of the guys is sitting next to me. Now you can take the photo off so I can introduce Troy Burbank.
What's
Hey,
up,
man,
Rob?
how you
Thanks
doing?
for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of like, congratulations, you have given birth.
Yeah, it's been a long, almost 2 years.
Yeah, see, people don't understand sometimes that it takes that long, not only to film it, but to sell it and to get the notice, like, okay, Amazon Prime is picking this up, and it's got to feel like, finally, it sees the light of day.
Yeah, it's after a while, you're like, I want this thing to be shown. I want everybody to see it, and you keep putting it off and making sure everything's right, and now it's finally here, and we're pretty excited about it because he's doing really, really well.
Yeah, and I'm giving you're doing all the right things. I mean, I know you're going from podcast to podcast and basically saying, hey, look, I'm going to promote this, and that you understand it takes the footwork to get people to understand, hey, listen, we got this show, we'd like for you to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, if you don't go out and promote yourself,
right,
nobody's going to know who you are.
Yeah.
So you have to go out there and put the legwork in, so to speak, and do it.
And for us, it's weird. This is actually the first time we're meeting, but we know so many of the same people that our
Yeah.
paths. I don't know how that didn't happen, that our paths never crossed before. Now, that's the crazy part.
It is crazy,
Yeah.
but it doesn't matter. We're here now.
Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact, put up photo number 6 one more time, CJ, because I'm going to point out 2 guys that have actually, one of them's been on the podcast. The guy in the middle there, Ernie O'Donnell, with the hat and the funky look there, holding the beer. And the guy in the background, who's only been one of my best friends for nearly 30 years, Brian O'Halloran, who puts on the great Irish accent for this show. Obviously, you're a fan of Clerks, so did you have these guys in mind, or was it just one of those things where you're like, you know what, I'm just going to ask and see what happens?
To be honest, no, I really didn't have them in mind.
Okay.
So
how does this come about then?
when I was writing it, I didn't have really. I had a few particular people in mind.
Right.
Like Andrew Bain.
Yeah.
So kind of.
He's the yin to your yang,
Yeah,
basically.
he is. Yes. So he was. He was in mind for pre-production everything. He was.
Yeah.
He was the guy that was going to be that character.
Right.
And then as we were going along, and Brian, Ernie's like, well, first of all, I said, wouldn't it be good maybe to have O'Halloran do this part as Barry?
Mm-hmm.
And
Barry the bartender, the Irish accent, the whole bit.
Well, no, I didn't.
Oh,
that
okay.
came into
All right.
that was way after. That was after. That was the hook to get him.
Okay. That's
that was the hook to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was Ernie. Ernie's like, he does this. I said, dude, I'm up for it because why not? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
he sent him the script and he said he would do it. We originally started as just to do a pilot, and we were going to try to sell it and.
Yeah, well, that's for people who don't know.
Right.
That's what you do. You're basically creating this series, and you're shooting one episode, and the hope is that maybe a network or a streaming service will get it. And all of a sudden, one turned into 6.
Yeah, one turn. Yeah, it's like, you know what? This one came out really good. The first episode, I was like, I'm going to do another one. And that one came out good. I said, you know what? I'm going to do another one.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, I'd say, Ernie, listen, I'm going to do let's do 6. We'll do a season. We'll do a short season.
Short
6.
season, right.
And I did my homework and see, is it worth doing, 6 episodes or is it 8 or 10? You know what I mean?
Well, it brings in another question. That becomes the money issue, where
Yep.
you're kind of sitting there going, okay, can we afford to do 6 episodes? Can we make this work?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's what we started climbing. You know what I mean? So, and then I said, we're gonna settle on 6 because the money dried up. And then,
It's always about the money. I'm telling you, it always is.
That's where it ended. So, so we're hoping, to get to 6, and hopefully we can get picked up for a season 2 that we
Right.
could do 8 to 10.
Right.
So that's kind of the big plan.
Well, you mentioned Andrew. CJ, forgive me, number 6 again, so we can emphasize Andrew in the photo. I know I'm posting his photo up, but there he is. He's in the background there behind
Yeah.
Ernie with the big smiling face. And basically, you're playing. You guys are brothers in the show.
No.
Okay.
The guy to my left, if we're looking at the screen, that's
Yeah.
Billy Hartman. He's another great actor that's in it. Him and Andrew are brothers.
There we go. Okay.
And I'm their friend from childhood, so I get them. It's like whatever I say, they listen. You know what I mean? They do.
Oh, that's right. You're the one that's going through the marital
Yes,
problem.
I'm going through the exactly.
So, but you do have basically the premise is two brothers who suddenly have no place to live because they were living with the parents, and the parents decide it's time for us to move to warmer climate and get on with our retirement.
Yeah, and sick of taking care of their grown-ass kids.
The funny thing is, at first when I heard this premise, I'm like going, but I'm going, wait a minute. In this day and age, I do know there's a lot more people that either move back in with their parents for a stretch or wind up living with them for an extended period of time. So it's not as far-fetched as you think. It's actually something...
Oh, it's not far-fetched. I know a lot of people like that.
Exactly.
That are living in their mom's basement. You know what I mean? So it's...
There's always that one person that you know that knows, and that's the appeal, I think. You know, when you see the plot at first, you kind of go, I know somebody like this. And that's part of the hook with this show, I think.
It is the hook because everybody can relate to them. Every one of them characters, if you think about it, like the guy that Ernie's character, Frank, his wife tells, he tries to play like I'm the big man. Nobody tells me what to do. There's people out there like that. And then when the wife comes in, they're like, yeah, honey, yeah, sure, I'll be right there.
I got to say this because I've seen enough of Ernie's work. This is some of Ernie's best work. Yeah. It really is.
It is, but you wait until the new one comes out. You think that was good. We finished one back in May. Yeah. It's a drama. It's really good.
I want to touch on that. We'll definitely get to that. Talking about the series on our own is now available on Amazon Prime. You can rent it right now. I emphasize, get all 6 for the one price. It's worth your time. This is the creator and one of the stars, Troy Burbank, here on the A Game. We talk about Brian. We talk about Ernie. You also had another one of the tapping the Clerks film. I mean, you had Scotty Schiaffo. Mr. Julies makes an appearance on the show.
Well, that's another funny story because when I was telling, it's funny that episode 5. I wrote that on the way home from vacation from Outer Banks.
So something happened, I guess, on the vacation.
Well, no, I just
inspiration hits you when you least expect it.
I told my wife, I said, I'm driving, you write. So I'm
it's like, honey, you will approve of my life decision. I'm making you involved. There you go.
Exactly. But it works because I have no patience driving. I'm very, are we there yet? I'm asking myself. You know what I mean? So, so it's, I was like, she's like, just let's write this next episode. I'm like, it's just her and I in the car. We did it. By the time we got home, the whole thing was done.
That's great.
And I seen a name on a billboard, and I just out of like the corner of my eye, I'm like, that's the guy that I'm going to buy the car off of. And then all of a sudden, I was telling Ernie, he's like, why don't we get Scott?
Yeah.
I'm like, I said, you think you can get him? He goes, yeah, I definitely can get him. And if you've seen the episode, I couldn't like picture anybody else doing that scene. Yeah. You know what I mean? So.
But I just find the interesting coincidences, and it kind of raises that question. It's like, okay, you've gotten 3 members. Will there be others potentially? Like, maybe he puts a call into Marilyn Gigliotti or somebody else from the cast.
Yeah, or Kevin.
Hey, Kev! Well, you do know Kevin.
Yeah, I do know. Yeah, I do.
How did that come about?
Well, the Quick Stops in Leonardo. I grew up in Leonardo.
How did I know?
That's the store that I go to for pretty much, milk, lottery tickets, this, that, or whatever. And back in the day when he worked there, I didn't know him from, and Highlands is right down the road from us too. It's not far. Well, just go there and, you just like the guy that's working there. You get friendly with him, you talk to him because you're there every day.
Right, exactly.
And, we just became, friendly, not friends, friendly. We knew each other, good
acquaintance.
Yeah, good acquaintance because I'm always in there. You know what I mean? And I remember him telling me about that. I was like, fucking guy's making a move. What the fuck?
And now all of a sudden it's like,
what the hell is he talking about? If I knew he was serious, I'm like, yo, dude, can I get in?
Right.
But I was like, this guy's fucking full of shit. And then all of a sudden he went to film school up in Canada, whatever. Right. And I'm like, what happened there? He's like, he went to film. I'm like, maybe that motherfucker didn't. He's gonna make a movie. Yeah, I kicked myself in the ass, but whatever.
It's interesting. The odds of, okay, this quick stop is produced, obviously, Kevin, and it's now you're kind of an offshoot of that, trying to carve your niche now. I'm like, has anybody else been to the quick stop that wants to be famous? Yeah. There we go. Our engineer, CJ Cullen. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's like to be honest, I always wanted to act. You know what I mean? But I just never really, to be honest, we had the balls to go and really do it.
Right.
You know. But once I seen Kevin doing shit, and I'm like, fuck, man, he's right from Highlands, dude. That's like he's 5 minutes away. I'm like, if he can do it, maybe I can do it.
I think you're getting a lot more people that watched Kevin at the beginning with Clerks and started to realize, wait a minute, if he can do it this way, why can't I? He inspired, I think, so many people.
Oh, yeah.
And you, obviously, on another level, being that he was local.
Yep.
And it's kind of, well, if a guy from my backyard can do this, why can't I?
Exactly. And it really, by him doing what he's doing, makes me do what I'm doing. Because if he didn't do it, I probably really wouldn't have went down that road. You know what I mean? I probably would have been like, fucking did what I was doing.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But yeah, so it kind of... He is the inspiration.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to be honest, so I mean, a few other people too, you know what I mean? But he's, I would say he's the main focus of doing what I was doing, you know what I mean? So.
Well, since we're talking about the show, we do have a clip. This is from episode 6, by the way, which I still think is the funniest episode. Give you about 30 seconds just to give you a little taste of what to expect. It's on Amazon Prime right now. This is on our own. Check out a little clip.
You won $2,000. You won $2,000, and all you're doing is buying us a beer? At least I bought you that.
Nice, Frank. That's great. Hope you leave me a decent tip.
So, you got lucky at the track, eh? How would you like to try your luck at poker? I happen to have 2 seats available for my game this week. Interested?
I don't think so.
What about me, Barry? Can I play? You? Oh, you don't even pay your bar tab and you want to play cards. Frank's gonna lend me the money.
I will? Yeah, I'll pay you back.
Oh, yeah, sure. He'll pay you back.
We have that one friend. That one friend that always, I'm going to do what?
Aaron's like, I am.
Yeah. And by the way, you're going to recognize a couple of people from the poker scene. Give me photo number 7, CJ. Now, I actually got a chance to interview Keith Coogan, thanks to you, by the way, because I brought up on our own. And unfortunately, we had some technical problems, but Keith was great about it and told some incredible stories. But he has very much an open mind about acting. His attitude is like going, hey, if I like it, I'm going to do it. I don't care if it's small or big. And I get the feeling he liked what you were doing, and he was just like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, Keith, I'll tell you, he's a good guy. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
really
down to earth.
Yeah.
He's been in some big stuff back in the day.
Oh,
I mean,
we could go down the list, but Adventures in Babysitting still is like one of the standouts.
Right,
absolutely.
Exactly. So, I don't know how I became friends with him on Facebook. Somebody was friends, like everybody else is. You know what I mean? So
how the connections kind of come together.
Right.
CJ, you can take the photo down now.
They pop up, and you're like,
good. Look, Keith Coogan does look good. Hey, Keith, if you're watching, hello. Hope everything's well. Hope Pinky's doing well as well. His wife, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
And I know her a little bit though.
That's a funny. By the way, if you've never seen, go on my YouTube channel. You can find the interview with Keith. It's a great story how him and Pinky met up. I think.
Yeah, I know that. It is a good story.
It is a good story. But, and then you kind of connected with him through Facebook. And I got to admit, I've had that same experience with a couple of my guests, which I didn't expect. And all of a sudden you ask and you go, what?
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to do it? What?
Yep. Rob, same thing.
Yeah.
The way you just said it is the way I said it, because I told her, I said, Ernie, you know what? I inboxed Keith Coo. He's like, you did? I'm like, yeah. I just told him. I said, we're doing this, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Brian O'Howell. I think maybe because Brian was maybe attached, maybe that's what kind of dragged him a little bit.
And I know the two of them have crossed paths in the Comic-Con circuit. So
right.
it had probably a little bit to do with it, I'm sure.
I think it did. Yeah. And I sent him the script. And, first he goes, I wasn't expecting to hear anything back.
Right. You figure it, okay, I threw it out there, whatever.
And if it catches it, half hour later, he's like, yeah, dude, send me this. Here's my phone number. I'm like, this dude, is he giving me fake numbers and shit now? You know what I mean? So,
and the funny thing is, after doing the interview with him, that's who he is.
He is, yes.
He is that kind of a giving, open-minded to projects that he's willing to be like, hey, if I like it, I'll do it. And obviously he liked it.
Yeah, he did, and it was great, man.
Yeah.
Not, he'd come in and he'd do this. Hey, what do you want? No, I'm good. Let's do this. You know what I mean? So, but no, it was really good having it because to work with a seasoned pro like
absolutely.
that. You know what I mean?
And you had another seasoned pro, and a lot of people don't realize this. If you go to photo number 9 and his resume, now Angel Salazar. I mean, I remember him from Punchline, but Carlito's Way, another big movie did. He was in Scarface.
Yep.
Here's a guy who's had an incredible resume, stepped away from acting for many years, and now he's just starting to get back into the flow of it. How does Angel get involved?
Well, that's another funny story. Billy Hartman, that plays Johnny Pops in the sitcom,
right,
introduced me to Angel. He knew him from somebody that he met.
Right. And I just read that the two of them are actually going to be in a film together coming up in maybe the next year or two, from what I've been reading. What did I find out? Oh, K-Town is...
Billy's... Yep.
Yeah, so something to look forward to. Nick Totoro directing that.
Yeah,
so good
stuff.
So
that's going to be a good... once you get all the ducks lined up, then it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a slow process,
Sure
but
it is.
yeah, Angel's another good guy. Billy introduced me to him. I said, Bill, can you let's get him in as a little cameo? And he's like, no problem, we'll get him. And he said, come down to a bar that Buffy's in Kenilworth. We went down there. And Angel's like, yeah, I'll do it. He goes, you mind if I write some stuff? I'm like,
well, shit.
yeah, I do mind. You can't. And Angel was good. Angel was great.
Right, but that kind of blows my mind because I know enough about Salazar's story that he literally took himself out of the game for so long. He's only recently getting back in, so for him to kind of go, yeah, I'll do it. I want to write too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
fine.
Yeah, he was. Angel was good. He was good to work, and like another season pro. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I love, not even just from Scarface. He was in a movie with Chris Penn called The Wildlife.
Oh yes, I forgot all about that.
He one of my favorite movies. You know what I mean? And he was in that. So it was surreal to have him on my set. You know what I mean? It was good. As Keith Coogan.
Yeah. Exactly.
Was, you grew up
but now I got
watching
the
him.
Wildlife in my head going, it's casual.
Yes.
Anybody that's seen that movie, that is the catchphrase from Wildlife. Hey, it's casual.
You know the movie.
I do.
It,
I am a wealth of useless information. That's why I'm great on this podcast, I think. But definitely On Our Own is out there. Go on Amazon Prime and get it. And something else that's actually been bubbling under for you, if I can get photo number 3, I believe it is. There it is. Gone for the Weekend is a project you did a few years back that's starting to finally make some traction.
Yeah.
And that's got to be a good feeling. Tubi has been the big supporter of this, which now Fox owns. Which, okay, we got Fox money now.
Right,
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you did this movie, I mean, it was more probably just to kind of go, okay, I need to kind of reintroduce myself. Let's see if this movie can gain. Did you think 3 years later you'd be like, it's gaining more traction now than it did 3 years ago?
To be honest with you, yeah, I did, because
Okay.
that's it takes sometimes that long before people start to see it, and especially if you're doing more things now, people know that you did this, and they're going to go on there and watch that, and that's what I was kind of hoping for. But Gone for the Weekend, it was a movie that I wrote like a long time ago. It was called actually Stuck in the 80s, and then I was like, you know what? Let me change some stuff around, and I kept the 4 main characters, and then I just started changing the script, and then Gone for the Weekend came, and which I'm glad, because it's a good 80s type of feel, like The Wildlife that inspired me to do Gone for the Weekend. You know what I mean? So.
CJ, put the photo up again, because again, we're going to emphasize that you do have a cast of characters. Obviously, one of your guys there, or a couple of your guys there, that are a part of On Our Own, or a part of Gone for the Weekend. So you sort of have your crew, basically.
I do. I like, because I'm a loyal person, and they put their time in, without pay, and promoting, and just helping out on the set, and doing whatever I asked to do. So if I didn't respond with coming, let me bring you back into something that I'm doing that potentially could be good, kind of like a slap in the face. So I wouldn't do that. So I think I keep the core guys, you know what I mean, and see what happens, you know what I mean, because they all been loyal. They show up every weekend, long days, now I'm asking them to take up their Saturday and Sunday when they probably could be doing something.
Yeah, something with family.
You know what I mean? So
exactly. It's asking a lot.
Yeah, it's asking a lot, and so that's why I like to keep everybody that has been with me from the beginning. You know what I mean? And these guys been from the beginning, so hopefully we can, get some success and all blossom together.
Find Gone for the Weekend, worth your time as well. And if you have Tubi, find it right there. You mentioned the drama earlier. Let me put a photo number 1 because I think this is a still from the upcoming film that you've been filming. What is the name of the film? And give us a little background on this.
All right, that is.
I think Ernie's involved in the film.
Yes, I'm blind.
No problem. It's Ernie. I think that's the scene where at one point he's got the gun in his hand.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that is called this. It's a short. It's 38 minutes.
Okay.
It's called Wasted Blind. Mm-hmm. It's about a recovering alcoholic.
Heavy.
That loses his wife and goes back to drinking, and blames his son for the death of his wife. So now he's not having anything to do with his son. He's just like kind of blackballing him. He don't want nothing to do with him. He's ignoring him. Wow. And then the kid starts to fall into drinking and not going to school and having these problems. You know what I mean? So that's what that's kind of about right there. Yeah. It's deep. It's really Ernie did a great job. Great job.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, somehow you're bringing something out in Ernie. I mean, he's good, but like I said, when I saw the clips of On Our Own, I'm like, this is some of Ernie's best work. So obviously, this marriage with you and Ernie with these projects, it seems like you're bringing out stuff in Ernie that even some of us would be like, he's good, but this seems to work really well. The synergy between the two of you.
I thought, we do. We mesh really good. Like, and especially like when I'm writing stuff, I send it to him, and he's like, why don't we change this? I'm like, I don't like that. You know what I mean? But then he throws stuff. I'm like, I do like that though.
Yeah.
And so we're going to keep this. So our relationship works really good. You know what I mean? Nobody's up here, down. You know what I mean? We're the same. Because I wrote it doesn't mean I'm not going to listen to somebody else.
No,
you know
of course,
of
course.
Because I'm open to take any. You have any information that needs to be said, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Because it might be better than mine. To be honest with you. So
who else is in this short film, by the way?
So you have Ernie O'Donnell's, and I play a small part, but I wanted to direct, so I didn't really want to write too much. Too much for myself. Let's see who else in it. Phil Cosmo, he's in it. Mm-hmm. He plays one of the AA patrons or members or whatever you want to call them. Yeah. Rob Rugolo is in it.
Mm-hmm. So a lot. It is really staying loyal to what you said. Your crew really trying to flex their muscles.
Yeah, with not big parts, but
getting them involved, like you said, getting them involved. Yeah,
Andrew Bain's in it. My oldest son's in it. My wife's in it. Siobhan.
I was hoping you were gonna go in there. CJ, give me the photo with Siobhan. I think it's number 2. Siobhan Fallon Hogan, who, by the way, God love her for coming on my podcast many months ago. And funny story, the last thing I expected to find out is her and I share the bond of Catholic University. She was there. I was there. We were on the campus at about the same time. She was a graduate student.
Oh, wow.
At that point. And the theater department at Catholic is one of the best in the country. I mean, Susan Sarandon came out of there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so her doing her graduate work there when I was a freshman, now that our paths would have crossed, but it's kind of fun. I could have bumped into her then. What?
You didn't even know. Maybe you did.
No, too many funky coincidences with me and Siobhan between the fact that it's like, oh, wait a minute. Your daughter works for the Post. My father worked for the New York Post. And she's like, get out. And then she finds out that my cousin and her husband both coach rugby together. And I'm sitting there going, Siobhan, why have we not met?
Yeah, right. That's pretty good. That's awesome. Yeah, she played a great part. So she's the AA counselor. And her and Ernie have some nice exchanges.
Nice.
So, which is really good.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah.
I can't wait for everybody to see it because it's finished, man. It's done. It's ready to go. We're gonna put it in a bunch of film festivals.
I was about to say that seems to be the logical next step.
Yeah, that's. I submitted to a bunch of them, so we'll see.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's
looking forward. To
it's good. It's a tearjerker. So bring your napkins because if you don't cry, there's something wrong with you.
Troy Burbank here on the A Game, getting ready for the Random Shot segment. To bridge into that, I figured, because we know the same guys in this one band, who, by the way, do the theme of On Our Own. I've got the lyric video from the theme from Colossal Street Jam. I mean, how did you convince Gene? Was it just one of those, hey, Gene, look, I'm doing this project, can we borrow a song?
Well,
because I've known Potts, God, since 19...
Well, you know what, though, Rob? It's funny because I put something on Facebook when I was doing Gone for the Week, and I said, does anybody know any local independent bands that have the rock music? And people were flooding in with, call this dude, call this guy. Blah, blah.
Sure.
So this guy, Mike Anderson, I know from town a long time ago, know him pretty much my whole life. He's like, yeah, Gene Potts. I'm like, all right. So I contacted him on Messenger. He's like, he goes, I'll send you a bunch of stuff over. Just like that. And we used probably 4 songs in Gone for the Weekend from him.
Yeah, I did notice a few.
Yeah, so I mean, them guys are great though.
They
are. I mean, it's not like their songs are just okay. They're really good songs. You know what I mean? They should be in a movie.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's going up the ladder. They win an award in Australia. Check. They have toured it overseas in Europe. Check.
Yep.
They now got a TV theme song. Check.
Yep.
People need to recognize this band is really damn good.
They are. I mean, the whole everybody in the band's awesome.
Absolutely.
Like they're a bunch of great guys and
Gene Salmara, David.
Oh,
Absolutely,
yeah.
Please.
Sal's awesome.
Yeah.
Eric.
Yeah.
They're all awesome guys. And just they could have said no.
No, that's true.
You know what I mean? And,
that's true.
I mean. I don't know why they would, but I'm just
No, but I understand what you mean by that. Absolutely.
They might say but and then after they knew we were serious.
And that's an interesting point, that it's like, hey, look, we're in this for the long haul. We want to develop this thing. So understand that if you do the theme and do some of the music, the masses, they come and rent this. And that was the whole idea. People are going to recognize your music even more. So it's a win-win for everybody that Colossal Street Jam can get more people to the dance on their side as well.
Absolutely. Because, if you're sitting there watching, you're like, man, that music's really good, man. Where can I find
look,
it?
We're seeing the power of that now with Kate Bush's Running Up That Hill. How many decades later, it's the biggest song in the world because of a TV series.
Right.
Thank you. Good night.
Yes, exactly.
So that's, not that it's going to get to that level, but it does show you the power that these streaming shows can have on a career.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
So he was like, dude, anything you want, you can use. So I was like, okay. You don't gotta tell me twice. I'm gonna take it. So and then, like I said, he knew we were serious. And then when I was doing the sitcom, I was like, Gene, I need to borrow one of your songs again.
There you go.
And I don't think I told him, to be honest. I don't remember. I don't think I told him what it was for. Like, because it originally wasn't going to be for the theme.
Okay.
And then my editor, he's like, Mark Prado is awesome. Like this guy can do anything. He's like, I would never do any film without him because he's that good. He throws it. He goes, yo, check this out. And I gave him a kind of a theme how I want for my beginning of the sitcom. You know what I mean? The opening credits.
Yeah, sure.
He nailed that, and then he goes, what do you think about? I'm like, the song. I'm like, I don't remember the songs. You know what I mean? Because there's the whole.
You recognize the band, but it's like the song. I don't know the title, of course.
Right. And then all of a sudden he said, I was like, that's it. Mm-hmm. I said, Gene, we're going to use your song for the opening segment of the sitcom. He's like, okay. So that was it. Yeah.
This is the theme. We'll get into random shots of Troy Burbank after we give a little clip. Here is the theme to On Our Own from Colossal Street Jam. Check it out. Colossal Street Jam, the theme from On Our Own in its entirety here on the A Game. Troy Burbank, the creator, the writer, one of the stars, the guy who pays the bills. It's all under your Leonardo Voice Productions kind of thing.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
absolutely.
Lucky me.
Hey, look, man, you decided to go down this path. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Well, random shots. This is basically where I become a stalker to Troy Burbank, and have him take a shot with me, and then we get into the questions. Now, I'm going to warn you ahead of time that I want to thank Dogfish Head with the vodka crush here. Take what you want, but I'm going to say thank you very much for coming on here.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Very good. Now,
wow, this is good.
Thank you. Random shots tonight. There is a theme. Main reason, Troy had a interesting sideline at one point in his life. You were a boxer. You actually gave boxing a chance.
Yeah. I started when I was like 12, 13.
And then you actually had 7 professional fights. Mm-hmm. So when you were that young, I mean, the dream was, you know what, I want to be the light heavyweight champion of the world or something like that. Well, you fought as a super middleweight, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, I started.
That's the 168-pound class.
Yeah. Well, in the amateurs, I had like 80 amateur fights too.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I had a lot of amateur fights. I started off at 147.
Okay, well, that's welterweight. Yeah.
And then every 6 months I would move up. Then 156 junior.
Right. Junior,
and then I topped that at 168, 165.
Yeah, the super middleweight. Yeah.
And then I think my last fight as a pro was like 178. I was at a shit.
Right around the light heavyweight range.
Yeah, that's for the. Wasn't training hard, and I was like, I'll fight.
See, I think there's the sign that says, okay, if I'm not training hard and I'm suddenly, but I didn't realize you had that many amateur fights. So that makes a lot of sense now where you sit there and go, you only had 7 pro fights, but you had 80 amateur fights. Yeah. So, I mean, were we talking about maybe aspirations like New York Golden Gloves, maybe an amateur career, at least for college?
Well, there's no college. That's the college thing is not. No, for boxing, there's no college stuff for that. I mean, I think there's one, to be honest. I don't remember it. I don't know exactly what one it is. But,
fair enough.
But I fought in New Jersey Golden Gloves. I lost in the finals, A lot of great fighters in New Jersey, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, look, going back, if I can go back to the 90s, one of the guys who really made the cruiserweight division even respectable, Bobby Ches, who's a Jersey guy.
Yeah. Bobby Ches. I know Bobby. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I admired his career because I always thought he was undersized in that division, but yet he could knock anybody out at the 190, at that point, the 190 limit.
Yeah, Bobby was a tough guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was,
without a doubt.
He's just, at the end, I think he had some, I don't want to use mental problem, but he had some. He was dealing with depression.
Issues. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Something like that. Yeah. It is, but he was a great fighter too. There's a lot, like I said, middle.
That was right away, like Jersey Fighters. Like, who did I watch back in the '80s? And that was like it's one of those underrated guys. He flew under the radar because that was as a boxing fan, I know the cruiserweight division does not get a lot of exposure.
No, it don't. That's like the stepchild of boxing.
Yeah, I hate to say it, the bastard stepchild. It really is.
And I'll tell you, Bobby was a great announcer.
Yeah, he was. He did a great. That's right. USA Network's NBC for a while.
Showtime.
That's right.
Yeah, he was good. He was like he can explain a fight to you that you can understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
like some guys, you're like, what did he just say?
Yeah. No, this is true.
Sure.
No, but it's very true.
He was awesome. Yep.
Well, I'm going to have some fun with this. So you'll see the theme as we go along. I need, as I take a look here, photo number 4. Now you recognize who this is. This is Tony Danza in his Taxi days, but also Tony Danza, who was 9-3 with 9 knockouts in his prime of his boxing.
Right.
Now, obviously, Taxi took off, and he went on. But I pose this question to you. If you put Danza, who was in that 165 range, and his peak, and your peak, around the same weight, who wins?
Well, me.
Well, there you go. Right, there you go.
I'd never seen him fight, so I couldn't even. I've never seen him fight.
Right? How could you? I mean, it's like people really didn't know about that, and then Taxi took off and was like, "Okay, I'm done boxing," which I can understand.
I mean, he probably had what they were called smokers, right? You go into a club and they said they had fights there every Friday, Saturday nights or whatever, and you go in there and even if you really couldn't fight, but you make some money or whatever and on your way, you know what I mean? So I don't know if he did that. He could have. I'm not sure, but I've never really seen anything on him.
I know that he had 1 or 2 fights at the Garden because at one point, Taxi and his boxing career kind of intermingled, and obviously they casted him in that character because he was a fighter.
Right.
So, it was just one of those fun questions, and I think you'll find the second question's along that same line. Give me photo number 5, CJ. Now, let's face facts. Jake Paul has made more money for being Jake Paul than he is anything else. Yeah, he's 5-0. Yeah, he's got 4 knockouts. Has not fought a real fighter yet. Same question. Your prime, his prime, catch weight will say 180. Who wins?
Me.
Yeah.
It's funny. I mean, listen. I'm not. Listen. The kid's a tough kid, right? Let's just. I mean,
I'll give him that.
I'm gonna give him. He's a tough kid, but he hasn't fought anybody that knows how to fight.
True.
To be honest with you.
Right.
I mean, you get. I know a top amateur that would whoop his ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a different. They're handpicking. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
it's all about the money. And listen, I get it.
Right.
Listen, if they want to give me a couple $1 million, I'll go and sign up tomorrow.
Well, but see, this is where I get confused because, by the way, there was a story. Jake was supposed to have a fight this weekend against Hasim Rahman Jr., who is the son of the former heavyweight champion.
It's Saturday, right?
Yeah, and then was canceled because Rahman supposedly was not going to make the catch weight that they signed him for. First it was 200, then it went to 205. Rahman's people are saying, no, 215. And then he's like, look, if you can fight him at 215. You got nothing to lose. You got everything to gain.
Yeah.
If anything, Rahman has more to lose to Jake Paul. And at least Jake Paul can say, I fought a legitimate 12-1 fighter.
Right.
As opposed to, I fought a former football player. I fought a UFC fighter.
Yeah, I fought a basketball player.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, listen, the fight with Mayweather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mayweather, you're not going to tell me anything different.
With McGregor, you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, that's right. Yeah, that exhibition. Excuse me. Yes,
right.
Yeah.
He carried him. He could have knocked him at any time if he wanted to.
Right.
I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
And Floyd knows he could have knocked him at any time. So that's, that was just for TV.
Right.
And I get it because there's a lot of money on the line and you do what you got to do. You know what I mean? But it's not a real fighter. They're probably saying, listen, real fighters, man, they go in there and they train hard and they take a whooping and they're not making even close to what this guy's making.
So is he good for boxing or bad for boxing? I mean, I would.
I'll tell you what, he's good for TV.
That's what
about
I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not good for boxing because a legitimate fighter is probably saying, why is this guy?
Yeah, right.
Why is he getting all? Because he's a YouTube star. I mean, because it's about how much money he's making money for everybody. So.
Right. No. Good way of looking at it.
So that's the way it goes.
Random shot number 3. It's a true or false question. Let's see if you know your boxing career. The combined records of your boxing opponents, there were 6 because you fought one twice. I take their records as they finished their careers. Would you say true or false they had a combined losing record? True or false?
True.
No, it's false, believe it or not.
Really?
The combined record of all your fighters, 36, 32, and 5.
Oh.
Even better if you take off one of them that went 0-17 in his career.
Wow.
Tom McCann, when you fought him, was still 0 for his career, and then he wound up losing.
I don't even remember him.
I fought who? What? See, I told you I do. I dig. Damn it.
You do dig. That's good, though.
The funny thing is, you fought a guy who was actually somewhat of a prospect, a mid-level prospect. This guy, Julio Matthews, who was like 10-0.
He was. Yeah, Julio was good. And I took that fight on like a week's notice.
Okay, so you kind of knew what you were getting into.
Oh, I know. Yeah. But he couldn't knock me out, though. So,
right. No, you didn't get knocked out.
No. Yeah. It was, they called me up to like, you want to fight this guy? I'm like, when? They're like, next week. Right. I'm like, what?
Oh, no. And then you find out
and I was out partying the week before. I'm like, all right.
But then you find out it's like going, wait a minute, this guy may be legit because they were kind of building him up.
Oh no, he was a good fighter. And
enough said.
He went down the wrong road.
That's why his career stalled at 10-0. Absolutely.
Yeah, he went down the wrong road, but he was good, but he couldn't knock me out.
Yeah. No, I had to have.
I wish I trained a little bit longer for it.
Yeah. I may have landed one, damn it.
Oh, I landed a lot.
But
I just couldn't. I was by the 4th round. I was like, all right, where's that bell?
Did you put the oxygen tank in the corner? Damn it! I trained for 2 rounds, not 4.
Well, a funny story. So after that fight, I got caught with a headbutt.
Ooh.
In the 4th round. It was a nice gash. So
Yeah, but what's it like? Because I see those headbutts, and I gotta figure you're like for about 10 seconds, gotta feel kind of queasy, like whoa.
Sometimes you listen. I'm just saying me.
Right,
my
that's all
experience.
you can go by.
I didn't even feel it, to be honest with you.
Wow,
I didn't even
okay.
know I was cut until the cut man was like, I think it was the end of the 3rd round.
Okay.
So they put the Inswell on it, and they put the Vaseline, the COVID, it stops the bleeding, and so after the fight, the ring doctor's like, yeah, Troy, you want to be stitched up? I'm like, yeah, you know what? I didn't feel like going to hospital.
Right.
It's a true story. He goes, all right, come here, jump up on the ring, hang your head over. He sewed me up right there. I'm like, is this gonna be like a Frankenstein sew kit here or what? You know what I mean? He goes, nah, you'll be fine. And that's what he did.
Did you know your wife at this point when you were in boxing? Did that come after?
Well, no.
The reason I'm asking is I'm sitting there. This woman's a saint. This to go through.
Well, that was my ex-wife.
Oh, okay, all right. That's why I asked.
Yes, and I knew her before then. So.
Okay. Random shots of Troy Burbank. Okay, now let's hybrid boxing and movies. Let's get your take on these. Better boxing movie. Now, I pulled 2 wild ones out. Grudge Match, Stallone and De Niro. Undisputed, Ving Rhames, Wesley Snipes. The Geezers or the prison boxing movie?
I kind of like the Sylvester Stallone one.
It had heart.
I did. I mean, because I'm a big Rocky,
Yeah.
fan. That's how it got me started.
Right,
so,
but I was wondering, as a Rocky fan, did that kind of ruin it a little bit? Kind of going, all right, Stallone's basically playing an old Rocky.
Yeah.
But then again, he played old Rocky in Rocky Balboa.
Yeah. All right.
And we all loved it.
Exactly. I went to the movies myself to watch it.
Yeah, I did too.
I don't want to be bothered. Don't anybody talk to me. I want to watch it by myself.
Yeah, this is my time. I'm going to embrace what was supposedly the last time we'd see Balboa on screen. But look, he was great in Creed. I mean,
Love
there's
it,
no question
yeah.
about it.
You love him. I mean, I don't care if they make a Rocky 25. I'm still gonna watch it.
It's Rocky 57. Rocky's in for
He's
the
in
fight.
there wheeling the chair.
Right, exactly. He's in for the fight of his life. He's fighting osteoporosis. There's a word I've never used in this podcast. Osteoporosis. There we go. All right, let's go biopic. Cinderella Man or Hurricane?
Oh, Hurricane.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm a fan of Cinderella Man. I don't know why. I think I gravitated to the whole story of the depression
Yeah, I'm
thing.
not big on it.
Okay,
I was,
interesting. All right.
Yeah, it wasn't. To be honest, I wasn't big on it.
Right.
I don't know why. I don't know. The Hurricane. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Great movie.
Yeah, I mean,
Listen, Denzel Washington. Mm-hmm. How do you not like that movie? You know what I mean?
that's a well said. Well said.
So yeah, that's over that one, no doubt. Yeah.
Couple of other one, the one that I saw recently. I don't know if you saw this, but you can rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. This came up on cable a couple of years ago, and it was the story about Chuck Webner. It's called Chuck on Showtime. Did you get to see that by any chance?
Yeah, I know Chuck.
Okay. Oh, you know Webner. Oh wow.
I know all these guys.
Yeah, no, I find that fascinating because
Yeah.
he just seems like such a fascinating character.
Larry Holmes,
Oh god, and I've met Larry. I worked in the Lehigh Valley.
Jerry Cooney, really good guy.
Cooney's a guy I'd like to meet.
Awesome.
I would like to
mean-
meet Jerry. I would.
Me and him was like
Yeah.
we're at the Middletown Box Club. That's where I started.
Right.
Which they closed down now because they didn't want to build for whatever. Long story short, but whatever. He came to a Christmas party that this guy Paul Dunleavy would run the gym. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, come on, let's go, Jerry. And he's a big dude.
Oh god, he's what 6'6"?
Big, but a nice guy, man.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
I mean, he really
We got along really well. That was
Yeah.
the first time I met him.
Wow.
So we kind of
Yeah.
clicked a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was doing an afternoon drive in the Lehigh Valley in a station called B104, and Larry is like a god up there. So meeting him, and he's just very gracious, very pleasant, and he's got stories. That's the one thing. You ask Larry to tell a story, he'll tell a story.
Oh, Larry, Eastern Assassin, man.
yeah,
That's-
the Eastern Assassin.
I fought one of his guys from his gym and beat the shit out of him. It's like, what's up, Larry? He's like, yeah, what's up?
Well, then I'll leave with this last question, because I'm a heavyweight boxing fan, and you obviously are. Who was, in your mind, one of the more underrated heavyweights? Because I think in a lot of levels, Larry Holmes never got enough respect as a heavyweight champion.
Well, I wouldn't say he's underrated, but
But I don't think he got enough respect. I think, you know, and now that you look back on his career and you say he defended his title over 20 times. It was just one of those, you know what? Nobody could break the jab. And somehow Spinks
jab
figured
in
it
the
out.
business,
Yeah,
man.
and Spinks somehow figured it out.
I mean, well, listen, the first fight he got robbed.
Yeah,
Plain and
it was a
simple.
close fight, but
but they didn't want him in there anymore. So you know, listen, I've been on some of them decisions where you're like, you won, and all of a sudden it's like, what?
Yeah.
What are you fucking?
How did that happen?
Yeah,
Right.
so
yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough question.
Like throwing a tough question sometimes.
You know, I tell you, who was underrated? But I mean, what was his name? I can't remember his name now.
Decade. Think of it that way.
90s.
Okay. Larry Holmes era.
Yeah.
Toward the-
He actually knocked Tommy Morrison out.
Michael Bent?
Nope.
No. Okay. I'm trying to think.
I can't, it's right on the end of my tongue.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who it may have been.
He won. I think he won the gold in the Olympics too. Ray Mercer.
Merciless Ray
Oh,
Mercer.
great,
My God.
great. I think he was underrated.
Yeah.
Great fighter.
Great punch. And
great punch.
the chin of granite.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
the old saying is one of the things goes first, either the chin or the punch. For him, he still had the chin in his mid-40s.
Yeah.
The punch wasn't as much. But still, it's like nobody could knock Ray Mercer out.
Tough as nails.
Oh, my
Tough as nails. I'd say he was probably. There's a few of them out there, but he was probably one of them.
Okay,
You know what I
that's
mean?
a good one.
Because I liked Ray Mercer. I thought
No.
he was a great fighter. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He just didn't get the shot he really deserved.
And
you know
don't
what I mean?
forget, we forget that Ray had, I think, was an Army guy, and when he turned pro, he was 34, 35. He got in late. You know, imagine if he got in 10 years earlier.
Yeah, exactly. So he's, to me, I'd say probably one of the top 5 underrated ones. You know
like
what I mean?
that.
Yeah, he's definitely. There's a few I just can't.
No problem.
You know, it's,
Give you one more because it just hit me on this one. Best knockout you ever saw. Any division, any time.
I have like 3 of them.
Okay, give me one. I'll give you my one, but you know, because I remember it from when I was younger.
There was Mike Tyson knocking out Marvis Frazier.
Oh
30
yeah,
seconds.
yeah. Oh my God.
Out cold before he even sat down.
Oh my God. I think he took 5 punches and that was it.
That was it. Back in the day, there was Tuesday night fights. Every
That was the
Tuesday
USA
on
Network.
USA, right?
Yeah, Sean O'Grady was the analyst for a while.
Sean O'Grady. There was I can't remember his name, but it was like he came out there, he touched, boom, out. Like he was like
I think
it was a Samoan guy. I can't remember his name, but it was a great knockout.
Yeah, and I think it was one of the fastest knockouts. I think it lasted like 10 seconds.
Seconds.
Yeah,
10 seconds. Yes.
It's like one punch and then the count out.
Rob, it might even be 8 seconds.
You're right.
He didn't even. He went 1, 2. That's it.
That's it.
And then I would say Tommy Hearns getting knocked out by Hagler.
That's still my all-time favorite fight. 3
Best-
of the best
rounds
rounds
ever.
ever. Oh, absolutely.
Ever.
I leave you with this. I remember being this as a kid. ABC's doing a boxing triple header. Now, Sugar Ray Leonard's headlining it. This was the middle event. John Tate, Mike Weaver. Tate's killing him for 11 rounds. And even here's Keith Jackson saying the only way he could win is knocking him out. Suddenly he lands the right hand from nowhere. Tate freezes. One more right hand. He's down. And you just went, did he just steal the title?
Yeah, right.
You're like, where did that come from? It's like the most unlikely win because the only way he could beat him was knock him out, and he knocked him out in the last round. I think it was the 15th round because they were doing
won
15
15 back
fights.
then. Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of them if you go back and watch, you know. But the Hearns one was the best, man. That was a great one.
Had to go down this path with you guys.
No, that's great. Yeah, I love talking boxing.
I appreciate that. Wrap it up right here. Let's put the photo up one more time. Number 6, CJ. Go to Amazon Prime. Get the rental of On Our Own. You know Brian O'Halloran, our man from Clerks, and the soon-to-be Clerks 3, which is out in September. Ernie O'Donnell was a part of the original Clerks, is one of the main characters in this movie, along with the creator, the director, the everything man, Troy Burbank. 6 episodes to rent. By the way, you rent all 6, you get it at a cheaper price. So get all 6, have some fun, especially the 6th episode, the poker one.
Yeah.
Blast, a lot of fun.
Yeah, you have to. You can't just watch one. You got to watch the whole season because you might not get it if you start watching one. You know what I mean? So I tell people you got to watch the whole season.
Smart.
I don't care if you've already seen episode 5 or 6. You got to get it.
The actors need to get paid. Rent it, damn it. Troy, best of luck. Look forward to season 2, by the way, which you're gonna get going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna start writing that. because my wife writes with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
So,
I know. That's why I say she's a saint. She's right on board with this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She like. I was like, you feel like writing today? She's like, no. I said, well, we are. But no, we're gonna write. This time we're gonna write all, like I said, 8 to 10 episodes.
Right.
And have them all in the bank and ready to go, and then just shoot for like 2 months straight to get them done. Because
Nice.
the first season was tough, because we
Right.
didn't really we knew what we were doing, but we didn't know what direction we were going.
Right.
Was it 1? Was it 4? Was it 2? You know what I mean? Who knew?
But now you got Amazon Prime behind
yeah.
you. It's got to make it a lot easier to go. Okay, now we can do a full season.
Yeah.
We've got the backing. Now we can go forward.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, within a couple, maybe a month and a half or two, it's going to be on Tubi. And
there we go.
Plex.
Nice.
So, because right now it's streaming over in Europe. It's the weird thing. It was streaming over in Europe.
That is weird. Okay.
Before it was here. You know what I mean? So
Right.
It's like on Apple TV. It's on Xbox over there. You know what I mean? So it's kind of weird. I don't know.
And now suddenly you're getting response from overseas, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
Okay.
because, listen, how we promote Facebook.
Absolutely, yeah.
We go everywhere to
This is really the new way of doing it, because again, as a former radio guy, you're not going to get 40, 45 minutes on the air. You may
Right.
get 5.
Yeah.
And then you really have to hone it in. You're not going to get the full explanation. And that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. So it's we're excited about it. I think it's just going to grow from here.
I agree.
Because like I said, it's only been out like 8 days now or something, and it's getting a lot of streaming minutes. You know what I mean? So with only limited,
right?
Talking. We're not on commercials and people are so it's tough, and it's a lot of word of mouth. You tell him, he tells everybody, and that's how it goes.
And
now,
I say keep doing what you're doing. Go from podcast to podcast and really get the word out there. You're doing all the right things.
Yeah, that's. I mean, listen, we have if people are willing to have us, man, we're willing to go on. So it's just the only way we can get out there and let everybody know that we're for real and the sitcom is good. You know what I mean? So I hope everybody can enjoy and watch it and tell their friends and and just keep supporting. That's it.
Give this man a watch. You're going to be impressed. That's a wrap for the A Game. I'm Rob Acampora. That's Troy Burbank. I'll be back again next week. I'll let you know through my socials. Hey, by the way, like my page, The A Game with Rob Acampora on Facebook. I also have a YouTube channel. Subscribe. Check out the other 81 episodes that have happened before tonight. Until next time, take care of yourself. Thanks again, Troy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.